Right, welcome back. I do apologise for the lack of videos over the last couple of days, but we've got some hard choices to make. We've got this whole thing and it's kaput. It really is. Tyres are gone on it, gearbox is crunching, clutch is on its way out, tail light smashed, mirror smashed, wheel hub at the front needs changing. I mean, it's bad. Okay, handbrake is not working properly at the back. It's got a lot wrong with it, but I can deal with it. Apart from that clutch, I'm just not prepared to get underneath it and end up on the sofa for 3 days with a knackered back, because that's what will come from it. So yeah, we've got some hard choices to make soon, and it is looking like, due to the dishonest adverts that we've been reading online, that we may have to, because you know, it's the devil you know or the devil you don't, and the car that I buy will be the devil I don't. And this thing, I know that once the work's been done, even though it's 20 to the gallon, which is crippling, it will keep us going for another 2, 3, maybe 4 more years. And the car that I buy could go bang on me by the end of the year. You just don't know. So as I said, the devil we know rather than the devil we don't. So I think we're going to be working on that soon. I have been doing some work, I just haven't shown you yet what's what, because it's repetitive. You've already seen it on several videos on the past, but what you haven't seen is that panel is now in. There's a piece of aluminium behind here, and we've had to keep constantly cutting that join because it's just come out so wonky, but that is about as straight as I can get it now, because there is somewhere along there will be a beam put in quarter of the way across for the bulkhead. Not that side, but definitely that side. And obviously when we put the centre plates in, we need something straight for it to sit against, whereas before it was like a harp. It was really bad. But we have straightened it. With tidiness and all that, we're not interested in that at the moment. Inside the cupboards, everything is going to get painted up. You're not going to see the wood, so it doesn't matter if I've sanded through the veneers, as you can see I have done. It won't matter because it's all going to be hidden. But we do have another problem that might be an issue. Is the cupboard I made, which I spent shed loads of money on, getting it all lacquered up. It might be too big. It's a little close because it comes to about here. And originally this was actually going to go a couple of inches lower, so it wasn't so much of an issue, but now it might be. And I never thought that through properly. So we've got that panel to put up, and then we can start other things. But as we are going to try and get that car through another ticket for a year, there isn't going to be a lot coming from this. And I can't finish this truck without a vehicle. I need to order wood, and £20 of delivery for one piece of ply is just not going to happen. I refuse to pay people like B&Q that kind of money. I mean, they're rich for a reason, and that's the reason. So yeah, we've got that in. We've sanded that down, as you can see. Again, you're not going to see it all. Where the cupboards are will get painted. There's a centre panel going over the top, which is going to be designed to be quickly removed, cleaned, re-upholstered if it need to. A lot of motorhomes don't have that luxury. They are prefixed, and if something rots, you are stuck. I have sat there and thought this all out with all the vans I've had, reading posts of people that are having problems, and that was the decision I came when I first put this together. Cheap plywood, don't need any more than that. Middle panel, removable. Simples. Right, there you go. Sanded it back. Just waiting for this glue to go still. It'll go rock hard when it's ready. I'm just getting there. A little bit more. Then we'll wrap the sander over that. So next is that panel up there, which isn't going to be as easy as it looks. Okay, it's end of night. Want to round off what I've done. I have, you can't see it really, can you? No. I've ordered a tail light, matches that one. 50 quid they were, second hand. Whew. And I have also, again you ain't going to see much, ordered hub bearing for that wheel. Let's just hope I got the right one ordered. Right hand side. I believe that is correct. Oh, look at the mess she's got to clear up tomorrow. She ain't going to be pleased with me. Right, that last piece of ply went up, but that went so wrong. We've got wood. Don't sit there and fret about all the blinking gaps and everything. That's not an issue. It really doesn't matter, because I always plan from the beginning. to strengthen the roof line up, to run a piece of batten all the way along, down and across to the end on both sides. I had that planned from the very outset. Now don't get me wrong, it would have been nice to get that smack on, but we struggled so much. Lack of preparation. Never thought it through. Just thought, yeah, it'll be easy, we'll just plonk it up and that'll be the end. No, it ain't as easy as that. But it's up, everything's in now, all the walls are up except for the back one. We can't do that yet until a slide out's been constructed. There was a bit of a jigsaw puzzle going on there. Look, we had to use scraps to fill that all in, unfortunately, but we're covering that up with the polyvinyl, whatever you want to call it. We also mucked up the line under there. Well, I mucked it up, I measured it wrong. I don't know how I managed it, but I did. So I had to cut a little piece out and join it back on again, and I'll sand that down. A bit embarrassed, didn't want to show you, but to be honest, somewhere along the line I'll flash it in the camera and somebody will see it and point it out, so I thought, sod it, I might as well just own up to it. So I own that mistake, end of story. So we'll sand all that glue down tomorrow, and we'll stick that vinyl up so it's flush. We'll cut another piece of ply on the saw in the shed to go down there, and possibly do this side as well, all the way down to the floor, so that will then joins up, and we'll put a batten from the top right down to bottom. After that, well, I suppose it's time to get the 2 bulkheads done, but I'm still having debates about all of this, if you want the honest truth. Right, it's a new day. I have sanded back all of that. It's a lot neater than it was, that's for sure. I'm quite happy with that. So the next thing to do today is to cut some plywood. Get a Stanley knife, cut that down, and then put some plywood in there. I don't know how I'm going to attach it though, because there's no way of putting screws in, so I'll probably have to put temporary rivets in and screws on the wood side if I can't get the rivets to hold, which I probably can, but I'll have to drill the rivets out after. And then the next process for this bit is the piece of wood that's got to go behind needs to be cut, planed, ready, and a very thin strip of hardwood to go over the top. And then it all needs treating so moisture that gets past the gap into the wood doesn't actually upset the walls, because that is the other issue that I never thought of until last night. Goes without saying with me. Think of everything at the last minute. So, even though the slide outs spend most of their life in, not out, but this wood hasn't had the best reputation with me so far, so we will treat it with something, even if we end up painting on the inside edge, just to seal up the end grain on that plywood so moisture don't get in the walls, because that is something that could happen. We've got the tyres done, all 4 boots are now finally on, so we're getting closer to getting the ticket sorted out. I think tomorrow, no, Saturday, I don't know what day it is today, we'll get the other mirror done on the other side. Anyway, it worked so far in the truck. We've started the dividing bulky heady whatsits. We've got the first one, the first half skin up anyway. We've got a batten to run down the other side. I've skinned this piece, managed to cut it really neat on the table saw. As you know, we filled that in, so I'm just debating whether to build that up a little bit more with a trim. Yes?
Nothing.
Oh, don't muck me film up. Oh, I can't take this seriously with her sometimes. Anyway, what we're planning to do, and you can't see on this side, is we've got a gap here. We're tiling this piece up to about there, I think, or there maybe, I don't know. And when we get the cupboard in across the top, I'm going to put a piece of this planking here that you can see, and run that on the outside edge with a router like that, similar to that. Now what's she doing? Are you doing this on purpose?
No.
I think you are.
Can I come in?
Yes, you can come in.
Thank you.
Oh, start again. Are you done mucking around now?
Yes, I'm fine.
You what? Freezing.
No, so I'm fine now.
Okay. Right, where were we? Yeah, you've put me off my stride. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Piece of wood here. So we've got one more bit of batten to put in the back, and then I want to run another one down the centre just to stiffen up that area. and then we'll move on to this side if there's enough battens left over, and we'll get this one completed, and then we can drill some holes through that and thread some of these wires through, because they've got to go down into the fridge area, and we've also got to cut a large access hole at the bottom so we can feed everything in and around. When we get round to putting the second ply on, we'll stain it all up so it matches that, and that should come out quite good throughout the whole truck. Well, this half of the truck. I do want to do something up the top, because it's such a high roof. I'd like to put some sort of threshold above, nothing below, but up here, maybe an arch going between the two sections, because we've got another one of these to build over this side here, and without my vehicle I cannot get the plywood, so that's why we're working our butts off to get that Jeep sorted out. So yeah, so moving on. Have you got anything you want to say?
Bye.
Sensible? No, this is not the over video.
What's that then?
Huh?
What one's that for then?
This is just an update. I haven't done any lives lately, you see, for them.
I don't know what to say apart from see you later.
Right, there we go. It's in place, but something's not square, and I'm not sure what. I think the table is sitting lower at that end by a centimetre and higher this end, because I've squared this wall off with this worktop. Oh, this bloody glue, it get everywhere. Yeah, possibly damaged it. Anyway, so yeah, but at the moment the line that has to match over this side is there, so we can put a piece of batten in there going down. We can bring the next wall out, which will be behind this bar, which is where it needs to be, so it might look a bit queer in the sense of it not being squared up with the slide outs, but I also do know that that slide out isn't square anyway. I already know that. I mucked it up when I built it, and it was too late to change it when I figured it all out, so that could be part of the other problem. We've reinforced the back so we can tile it. It's nice and strong. We'll put plastic tiles on. I don't want to push on that too hard. Nails are sticking out. Sorry, the screws are sticking out. So we'll cut another piece of ply before we get this. Before we start this room, we'll get another bit cut and fitted. But before I do that, I've got to plumb in, cut out. So we'll cut that section out so I can get access in there, and we'll thread those wires through there somewhere, slightly higher up, because the cupboard's going to hide all that, and then we can run them down, and we'll drill another hole, say like here somewhere, and thread them through in, and then we'll staple them up so they can't move around. But I need to put a test meter on them and figure out what is what. They're labelled. Unfortunately, I put two fridge labels on there. I'm pretty sure one of them was 12 volt, but I've got myself confused with all of this. I know that's the fan that goes above, and speaking of the fan, that's going to sit about here, and it'll stick out about a foot, so it might be too close. Depends how high the flame get, and if there's any risk of that catching fire. I'll have to rethink this if it don't work. Right, that's it for today. 40 quid table saw never came to pass, but I did get my hands on this homemade one for 40 quid. But I'm not showing you. It's been sitting for years. Needs a new worktop. Engine needs some fettling, and that's all I'm showing you. Then on Facebook groups, I found these, which are way better. She said they're leather, but I don't really care if they are or ain't. Little scabby up on that one, but good enough. I'll show you where they're going. I'm going to use those two nasty naff cushions, and I was going to put them here. But I think I'm going to take the feet off those stools and put them there. And the minibus seats can go that side. Neither will match. It's a bit of a nuisance, because I'd like to try and find another two more that match, because that would really make this work. Although, we could put the two armchairs there and there, and put that minibus there and there, so you've got the two safety seats facing each other and the two luxury-like seats, whatever you want to call them, facing that way. So I don't know, we're gonna have to think this one through a little bit. I want to use them definitely, All the plucks from the cats from the previous owner won't make no difference to me because I'll be hiding half of that. And we've also got this cut, so we're going to whack that in a little while. I've just got a blinding headache. In fact, we've got nothing for next week footage wise, nothing. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this one up next week. Where are we? Weekend. The hub has come through the post. That came through early. I was hoping that'd come through next week to give me a breathing chance of thinking about it. But now I've got to get on with it. So Saturday, Sunday, we're going to put the hub on, get the back brakes fixed, get the mirror fitted. If the tail light turns up, then we'll get that put on as well. Top the oil up because the oil's low, as I found out today, and all the water system, and then give it a damn good clean. I mean, it really does need it. It's a filthy state. I've not looked after it, not cared for that truck very much. It's never let me down. That's the daft bit about it. So next week, I don't think I'm doing any more of this today. I've got a headache, head's killing me. I've got all this stuff to get round the back, and the truck needs to be charged and moved. So I think we'll, I don't even know if this thing will start, to be honest with you, because it does, if I leave, the longer I leave it, the harder it is to fire up. I don't know what's wrong. If I use it regularly, you know, fire the engine up regularly, I don't get any problems with it, but if I leave it for a week, 2 week, 3 week, it's a bloody nightmare to start this thing. So, it gives you an idea what's going on, doesn't it? I'm afraid there ain't much to see at the moment. I mean, we threaded the wires through late last night. The framework was all there, but I think we're going to have to undo the top and pull it across a little bit. We've got a bit of bowing going on that I picked up on. We'll do the same type of frame on that one. I have the offcut there, so that'll be the fake wall. That's very likely going to fold one way or the other. I just haven't figured it out yet. I might try and fold it that way. When you're not using that, then it can be folded out. Mainly for travelling, so I can see out those back windows from this cab area here. Possibly, I don't know. It's just going to be useful to see what's behind me when I'm driving along. I mean, it ain't no good for nothing else like reversing, but it'll be good enough for that. If I put a mirror up, that just gives me an extra area to see what I'm doing. And my rear tail light on my Jeep is a witness to my bad driving, so I need all the help I can get. I do not mind admitting. So yeah, I think we're going to call this video, because you haven't had one in 3 days, and I made a promise that you were going to have one every night. But after I made that promise, and I did the first week, I was exhausted by the end of the week, and I need to keep myself quite awake for the weekend. So I decided, and because there's nothing to give you much the week after, I kind of decided that the best thing all round was to do as minimal as possible this week, and then hopefully when I've got no money for the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, and I really won't, because this clutch is coming in at 600 quid, and that's madness. Spending all that money on that junk, it's madness. I mean, I went to Saxmundham today, that sort of direction. Didn't miss a beat. That's the thing about that car, it's horrible, but it's reliable. Daft, isn't it? So next week I will finish that off. I will make the swing out door frame, or half of it at least. Block that light out if I can. I might do a little bit of filming on the truck outside. Depends what my patience is like. We'll add that into it as well. And after that, we've got to purchase some more ply, and we'll start that area there. Now I've got those 2 extra seats to play with. This might end up being quite interesting. So until next week, have a good weekend. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you Monday. Bye bye. Quick update. When I catch you doing it, I'm having you. Like people who let their dogs poo in other people's gardens. Anyway, quite a bit here. No, let's start again. My brain has been fried with these because they recline. Now I really don't know what to do. So this whole plan in this area has now changed. We're going to put a bus seat that way, a bus seat facing that way. The table will be fixed to the wall as previously planned, but I think these 2 chairs, because they're so big, I think they're going to have to be fixed sort of in this position, but maybe closer, a lot closer, because this is all in the way here at the moment. So we'll put these on sliders, I reckon, make the whole floor slide out with them on, and then that gives us the ability to swivel them around. I might make some better swivels. Means you can sit in that one in the summer, turn it round, roll the backrest back, gawk through the windscreen, you know, it's all there. So yeah, pleased as punch with them, but has added some complications because they're so big. But boy, you could fall asleep in them, they're so comfortable. I mean, they're really comfortable. They're very low down as well, so I am going to have to jack them up in the air a bit higher. As I say, I'll probably make a new swivel set for them, and go from there really. And they'll have to go on some kind of sliding mechanism, which I don't know what I'm going to do yet, or how I'm going to get around that. The only thing I can think of is a couple of fire plants sliders from the oil generator unit that they hold, or the water generator, or whatever the heck it is they have them. They're heavy duty anyway, I know that. And maybe have two casters, so build a box frame all the way around with the table hovering above, so a table can come off there, and then the leg can go under and go back on itself, and that could be permanently fixed. And then these could be fixed to the sliding unit, so you literally grab both the chairs, so when the slide out goes out, or they could be fixed to this bit of floor actually, so when the slide out goes, they stay in situ. I don't know, we'll figure it. What I do know is there'll be less materials to put those in than what there was over there with the other seats, so those cushions can go. Actually, they won't go. I'll keep the big wide one as a spare for the bed at the back, even though I don't even need to do that actually. They're too thick to go up there, which is a shame because it'll be very comfy up there. Okay, now we're moving on. See you Monday. Bye.